Alright, so I haven't streamed for a couple days, been kind of lazy. Uh, just haven't had a huge block of time to kind of set aside and put a decent stream together. I have done a lot, probably with my roster in the last couple days, so I kind of just wanted to kind of go through some of that stuff real quick. And kind of just let you know where I've been focusing on the last couple days. So anyway, it would have been good for me to do video of this the other night, but I ended up beating Dark Dimension 3, the first city node, with just 4 characters. I paced things out really well until City, and then I kind of split my time between Spider-Man and Anti-Venom and didn't really have a 5th ready to go. Got 3 more nodes on Spider-Man and 1 more on Anti-Venom to get him up to gear tier 13, and I'm trying to decide kind of which way I want to go on that. I'm probably only going to focus on one of them for this first pass. And since I'm halfway to gear tier 14 on Spider-Man, probably going to continue going the rest of the way on him, especially since I have all of his abilities at max just from a long time ago. And probably just take him forward. He'll work with Symbiote Spider-Man, and he's a brawler, so he'll work with Ms. Marvel. So he's not terrible for me based on who I took up, but not ideal. Spider-Man doesn't have a bad kit. Actually, I kind of like his kit, but just doesn't really have a ton of synergy. But again, since he's a brawler, he'll match up with Ms. Marvel a little bit. So when I beat this mission 13, I got a Elite 5-star out of that, or Elite 5 orb. I opened that up, and that turned into a 6-star on Black Widow, which was a nice little upgrade. I only had her at 4 stars, kind of been focusing on her lately, thinking that she's somebody that I want to take into Dark Dimension 4, even though that's still a little ways off. But yeah, anyway, I was, I was going for Iceman at the time, which I actually ended up getting later on. But to get a 6-star out of an Elite 5 is pretty good, and with who I got it on, I was pretty happy about that. Kind of been saving these T4s, haven't really known really what to do with them exactly. Not that I have everybody just so leveled up, I just am kind of being pretty conservative with them right now. And I'm just not really sure how to spread them out. I'd like to give Ultimus a couple. I'd like to give Longshot and Shatterstar some and get their passives up and going. And I'd also like to do the passive for both this one that I'm on, actually, the passive for Black Widow, and do the passive for Hawkeye, and just have them work really well together. I think, I'm just leaning toward Wave 1 Avengers on for Dark Dimension 4. Really is kind of set in motion by skill. There aren't really a ton of skill people in the global section that I'm really all that excited about. I know a lot of people are taking up Zemo, but mine's not really far enough along to really be considering that at this point. And I just don't use him a ton. I don't use Wave 1 Avengers a ton right now, but I have been investing more in them lately, or spending materials more on them lately. I do have a 5 red star Captain America, which does help. Hawkeye, I still need to get up to 4 stars on him. Actually, let's look at Wave 1 Avengers. But I've been doing work on the group. I think they're kind of a little underrated, especially following their rework somewhere in the last half of last year. They got a lot better. And then I just, just because of where I was in the game at the time where red stars were coming out, I just didn't get good red stars on these guys at all. I recently got added a fourth red to Iron Man, and then after that I did a fourth red on Black Widow before getting the 6 red stars on her this week. But Hawkeye and Hulk, I mean, they'd be better at higher red star levels. But I am thinking Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, and Captain America, along with this is not set in stone, but I'm thinking that I'll probably bump Phoenix up to gear tier 15 following the rewards that I get out of Dark Dimension 3, which I should finish here 2 weeks at the most, depending on how tough the last 2 city nodes are. But I should get decent rewards out of completing Dark Dimension 3, and then I'm probably going to take Phoenix up to gear tier 15, just so she's that much more powerful for my second time through. I've already invested pretty heavily in her. I think I pulled a 5 red star on her a long time ago, and have added the 6th. But I have all of her abilities maxed. And I've been working on her ISO recently, and I've only got one more piece to go. I'm probably going to come up with at least 100 gold promotion credits somewhere in the near future, probably the next Chaos Theory event that comes out. So I will have a decision to make on who my next 6 or 7 red star character is going to be. I don't really know what I'm going to do, but one of my options is to stick the 7th red star on Phoenix, and then just kind of have her be, my second red star character, and then just for being a legendary, that upgraded, just isn't a bad way to go. But, I kind of think I'd probably be better off upgrading one of my 5 red star characters to a 6 red star, maybe Symbiote Spider-Man, something like that. Might get better mileage out of that than I would putting it on Phoenix. But I do think I'm probably going to take her up a gear tier immediately following Dark Dimension 3. I'm halfway there already. I've actually been working on her. I actually have all the catalyst pieces pretty much ready to go. And all I need are more of these spliced X genes, which aren't really that hard to get, but I've been pretty focused on bio gear right now for Spider-Man. And I think this one, I've just got a couple more damage catalysts to build. So, if I got some pretty significant rewards out of DD3, which you do, if it fell on the mutant side, I'd be ready to go with her right away. And especially after I finish, not focusing on one of my bio characters. She's probably my next focus. Spending these G15 parts on a legendary character that I won't be able to use until end of DD4 is kind of a controversial decision. I don't think you'll probably see a ton of people probably doing it that way. But I use Phoenix pretty much in every game mode. And, I think if I elevated her, I'd maybe see a bump in Arena. Right now I'm not very close to 250 in Arena, just because I've been using my military characters for the Covert Ops event. And I've been using them in Arena and basically just putting them in there to lose and get the points. So that's why I've kind of dropped a little bit in Arena ranking. But, I'm thinking if I elevate Phoenix to gear tier 15, I just think she'll be that much more powerful and maybe get me over that 250 Arena rank hump, and, hopefully stay there. I can get over that hump. I think my max is 208. But I am not staying there right now. I think I am pretty sure I'm still using Sinister on my Arena defense team. Why did I go the wrong thing? So, I mean, he's still even a little underdeveloped. Right now, he's only at 5 stars, 4 of them red, no T4s. I don't have any T4s on Ma either. So, I mean, there's a lot that I can do in arena defense. I'm just not really sure what kind of diversification to do. And, I've really liked Black Bolt and Phoenix in pretty much all game modes, especially in arena. They've been pretty helpful for me. So, I don't know, maybe I stick a 7th red star on one of those two, but not really sure. And it's not really a problem I have to worry about quite yet. What else? So when I got that Elite 5 and opened it on Widow, that was great, but what I was trying for was Iceman, and ended up getting him at 5 stars. I was really close to a second Elite 5, and I opened up a couple more red star orbs and got enough parts to do that. I thought about saving it later for Jubilee or Bishop, but hopefully I can just figure out a way to get good red stars on them. I don't have any right now, red star orbs, but I'm going to be hoarding them for a while. I think I had about 25 to open for Iceman, and the best I got was 2 red stars, so I was kind of sweating that a little bit, and then that's kind of why I decided to open my second Elite 5, and luckily I got him with the higher drop rate. So since I got the 5 red stars, Scopely got me again. I bought the introductory offer. It's pricey. It's not really the way I like to spend money in this game when I do spend money in this game, but my birthday is this weekend. It's just kind of my little birthday present to myself. And I pulled pretty good shards out of those orbs. So the offer came with 55 shards plus 8 orbs, and out of those orbs I got about 138. Or I did get 138 shards. So right now, even though I haven't recruited or unlocked him, which I don't like to do until everybody in my alliance can get him through Blitz, but I do kind of want the head start on him since he's a 5 red star character. But I haven't unlocked him yet, but when I do, I will have him at 4 stars, and then through the 2 Blitz events, even in the 4 to 10% range, I think I can get 60, did the math before, 45 and 21, 66. I can get 66 if I place in the 4 to 10% range, 66 shards per blitz, and I can get 76 shards per blitz if I do the 2 to 3% bucket. Had done the 2 to 3% bucket a couple times, but this last time on Kitty, I think people were just going so hard that I must have just fallen outside that grouping and only got 45 shards on her. And then I did kind of a stupid thing. I don't know why I lost track of this, but I was thinking that was her second blitz, and I was short of 4 stars on her. Where is she? I thought I was short 4 stars on her, so I bought one of the orb packs that got 2 orbs. I think I pulled pretty decent shards out of that. But, I only needed I think I was banking on getting 55 out of the 2 to 3% rewards on her blitz, but I only got the 4 to 10% range and got 10 less. So I was just trying to make up the difference and get her to 4 stars and maximize the 4 red stars that I got on her. But was premature about that because her second blitz started today, and I don't know. I just lost track of that one. I don't really have a good excuse for that, why that happened, but it happened. So anyway, yeah, I've been focusing on Black Widow. Again, thinking that she's going to be probably one of my first characters, much in the same way that Punisher, I think, was one of my first characters in DD3. I think Widow is probably going to be my first DD4 character, at least my first skill. And then I'm kind of leaning toward Thor, just because I already have him, at a high level. The only thing about that really concerns me is I kind of had Thor in place thinking that I was going to go Hela also, but I think now if the resources would work out, I would rather go Ultimus, but Thor and Ultimus use the same unique material, that Uru. Right now I don't really have a ton of that, so I'm not really sure how to prioritize those two, but thinking Black Widow, thinking Thor. I've already got a decent chunk of these G15 pieces for skill already. So as long as I could get more of these microdots, which I should get like another 8, I think, out of the battle pass. So that'll get me up to 3 pieces. I think then I'd have pretty much three G15 pieces for each origin type. So pretty much I could take up any low-cost character that I wanted. Anyway, trying to decide between Thor and Ultimus. Thor just would work really well if I went with all the other Wave 1 Avengers. And if I went with Widow and Thor, then I'd probably be trying to do Captain America. But Captain America's tough just because I have a lot of champs that use vibranium. I've already got Panther at gear tier 14. I'd have to get Caps right now. He's 5 red stars, but he's only at G13. I'd end up with a little bit of a vibranium crunch, and then I'd still like to have vibranium for Quake or Shuri, but I don't know, that's gonna get dicey. So yeah, between Bio, it would probably be Yo-Yo and Cap are kind of competing for that first Bio spot. Widow, I'm pretty sure, will be my first skill. Thor, I'm leaning toward as my first Mystic. He is not global, but since he meshes well with the Wave 1 Avengers, I think that would just be a good move for the first 3 nodes. I'd have at least 3 Wave 1 Avengers, possibly 4, and Phoenix, and I think that would pretty much take care of the first 3 nodes. I think having Phoenix at G15 and using her in DD4, I think she would probably help in those first 3 nodes, and then because I went Wave 1 Avenger heavy, I would have a good bit of my global squad ready to go. I'd probably try to add Sinister or possibly Ultron, depending on whether or not I went with Hawkeye. Kind of just to help me get through the rest of the global stuff. I think that actually the Wave 1 Avengers, I think if I would put some T4s on them, I think that they'd actually work pretty darn well. I think both with Widow and Hawkeye being controller, I just think that they'd work really well in kind of the design of DD4. So that's what I'm kind of thinking for global. Still kind of trying to figure out, what my cosmic story might look like, but a lot of it's going to depend on global. If I go Thor over Ultimus, if I go, if I do Hawkeye and or Ultron, I'm not going to have adamantium for somebody like Ms. Marvel. I'm sorry, Captain Marvel. And, if I went Ultron, then I'd be hurting a little bit to do Minerva. If I went Thor, I'd be hurting a little bit to do Ultimus. But I just think that I'm really going to like the Kree after I get the 5 red star on Ultimus and probably upgrade his basic and his passive. Maybe I'd kind of like to upgrade all of his abilities. I think that he's just kind of under the radar because, I'm getting pretty close on him. I've almost got him to 7 stars. Not everybody's got an Ultimus that's that far along. He takes about 3 years to get all those pieces to get him up to 7 stars. But, I like all these abilities. I'm really interested to see. I've gone against it. It's kind of probably been a while, but the mind control ability, um, I just think that you know he's kind of squishy a little bit right now because he doesn't have any red stars. But when you add 5 red stars on there, his power is going to jump up 50%. And if I put some T4s on there and finish his ISO, I mean, he would probably be one of the better champs in the game. So, I've probably focused on him a little bit more than probably anybody else in my alliance, if I had to guess. But I just think it's going to pay off long term. So yeah, and then I also like Longshot and Shatterstar. I kind of went pretty heavy on them this patch. Would have liked to get more red stars on both of them, but I think they were probably stingy with that a little bit on purpose. But paid a little bit to get Longshot up to 6 stars, and I'm pretty close to 6 stars on Shatterstar, trying to kind of basically keep them at the same level so that I can kind of slot them in on different teams. But they're two that I'm big on long term, and probably for DD4. Mutants are just so crowded right now. I'm just not really sure which way to go on mutants. I know a lot of people are using Sinister and Dark Dimension 4. He's somebody that I'm definitely considering. I've already got him up to G14, but I don't have enough stars on him yet, or any abilities really for him to be a great Dark Dimension 4 candidate. So I would have to do some serious work on him before I would be able to take him in. And then, Emma's a great character. I haven't really given her any attention. I just got her up to, I do have 5 red stars, but I just got a 5th star on her during this milestone event. Actually, I think I'm halfway to 6 stars, which is both good and bad because I have a long way to go there. But the good thing about getting over that 100 threshold right there is if I really decided I wanted her at 6 stars, I could pay, I guess it would be $60 and I can get her up to 6 stars. Again, that's not really, I do like spending money on character shards. I don't like spending that much money on character shards. So that's a little steep, but I don't know. I haven't really played with her a ton yet. And I know people love her, and I love what I've seen so far, but haven't really done a whole lot of experimentation. So yeah, my Cosmic could go very different directions based on how I go into DD4. But I got to finish DD3 first. And again, finished the first node of City last night with just 4 characters. 4 was enough. And then I don't think I had enough health to try a first attempt on the second node, but I'm just going to do that now. And then I'm probably going to be quitting out of a couple matches just to, I don't know, play it a little bit different, see if I can get any further along. This is something that I was always afraid to do. When I had done Dark Dimension 2, my iPad had crashed a couple times when I was trying to do the time run. I think I could get it down to about 4 hours, pretty much on auto. But my iPad would crash every once in a while, and, it would just, basically delete your progress on that node, and it would just be like starting over. And then through watching other people play online, I realized that you could, quit out intentionally and, just restart the level. I think that's what a lot of people do on Dark Dimension 4, but I wish I had employed that tactic a little bit sooner than I did, but it's something that I've realized is pretty smart to do, especially on the first time you start a node, because you don't always start it the right way. But anyway, that's a tactic that I'm definitely probably going to be using here. But let's see how we get treated on the second node for Dark Dimension 3 for City. Again, I only got the 4 character. Oh, that should have reset. Oh, no, it's not 8 o'clock yet. I got 5 more minutes. So we'll spend some energy while we're waiting for that to refresh. But anyway, I thought this was kind of weird, because I thought you could go in with any number of characters, but you must need some kind of minimum. So right there, technically, I could have gone. I thought I would have been able to go in with Symbiote Spider-Man and Ms. Marvel, and probably wouldn't have been worth my time. But maybe I would have gotten a hit in or two before they both died. But I don't know how that works. Maybe you need 3. Not real sure. Or maybe they have to be over a certain health threshold. We'll come back to that in a couple minutes. I got some campaign energy to spend. And I'll just spend a little bit before we refresh. Probably should have done this earlier so that it was refreshing. I think I did all these big nodes already. So right now what I've been doing, I've been concentrating on the 6 nodes that pay out the 1,000 ion pieces. And I refresh those once, each once. So that, oh, no, I guess I had a couple extra today that I didn't use. Normally I do this until that's 100 cores. So I think it's like 5 or 6 refreshes or whatever. But I think ions are definitely more of a choke point than the ISO pieces are. So I try to maximize getting the most ions every day. And right now I'm trying to get those so that I can finish off Phoenix and put that last level or tier. What is this? This is tier 1 level 5 or level 1 tier 5. I can't remember. But finish off this. Yeah, tier 1 level 4. Yeah, tier 1 level 4 level 5. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to finish off this last little piece and get her pretty much maxed out. Again, I'm thinking about maybe using the gold promos on her, getting her up to 7 stars, but probably not. Probably spread the wealth around. I don't really want to do a blitz or a raid. I'll do a blitz real quick. Kind of all over the place right now. I don't really have anything that I feel like I've got to get done tonight, other than trying out the next node on City for Dark Dimension 3. I don't like any of these. I feel like that those first 6, like I hardly ever miss on those if I pick the right teams to go up against. As long as I'm not being too aggressive, some of the time I don't pay attention to the punch up. I definitely have to be aware of that when I get into the 8.3 and 8.4 tier. But yeah, for the most part, I don't really have to do a ton of consideration for those first 6 teams. They seem to win a good bit. Right now I've got Juggernaut on this team instead of Strife, just because I haven't done a lot of building up of my Strife, and I don't really want to, but just with all the other mutants, he's just not going to be a focus for me for a while. And then I've kind of been wanting to get back into Juggernaut. I think when you get them up at higher levels, you can take them off Fortifier, you can switch them over to Striker and have them be more of an offensive weapon than the defense. Now, I don't really know. On this team, the Marauders probably do need the defense. That's why Strife's usually there, and I know Juggernaut's not the same defensively as Strife is, but kind of just hoping that the additional offense kind of outweighs that. Again, I probably need to change the ISO class. That's something that's on my radar, but not a huge priority for me at this point. Somebody's focusing on Iron Man. I don't love any of these matchups. Guess that one was pretty good. He's definitely fallen off for me. I just haven't been able to keep up Reed Richards or Mr. Fantastic with all the rest of my Fantastic Four, and I think it affects this team a lot, especially since I have a high Namor. I just don't think that it balances out the right way. So I haven't done it for a while, but I'm thinking about putting She-Hulk back in that spot, and especially with the way I have the ISOs set up, it's too defensive, I don't know. It's just this team doesn't really work for me the way I've got it right now. It probably, I'd say, wins about 60% of the time, but I'm really looking for those combinations that win for me, 85 to 90% of the time. So this one's not terrible, but I don't really love any of these matchups. Yeah. I don't think I would have won any of the other ones. So again, I've got Juggernaut and Strife flip-flopped here. It's not terrible. It's not ideal, but it's not terrible. Just since my Magneto's so powerful, I think that definitely helps. Seeing a lot more Beast than we used to, which I think is interesting considering that he's not farmable. I don't know how people are kind of like upgrading him. Maybe it's just they're upgrading the gear and can actually use him on the Uncanny team, but definitely feel like I'm seeing more Beast lately. I just got my Beast up to 5 stars, 5 red stars, so that was good for me. I'm trying to think of what else has happened in the last couple days. I guess that I pretty much covered everything, but I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting. Shit. So I've been experimenting with pulling Iron Man off this Power Armor team and sticking him with my Avengers, which I don't know if it's working. I still need to do work on Wave 1 Avengers. I don't have any T4s in there, and I probably need some. I don't have any in this one either, or really a lot of them for that matter. But yeah, it's I don't know. This works pretty well, actually. I don't know if it's just because of the spacing, the power level spacing, but this works for me pretty well against the right teams. This is where my save squads start to get a little dicey in Blitz. I'd say these probably only have a 60% chance or less win rate, which is not ideal, but I just kind of make it work. But it's a little bit tougher right now than what I would really like it to be. This bottom half of my save squads probably needs some attention before the Iceman Blitz. I don't like any of these. Actually, I'm going to try to drop down. Damn. Smoked there. I guess that was a pretty big punch up. I wasn't paying attention to that. I've been bad about that lately. I wouldn't have probably attempted that if I was paying attention to the power level. So, I've put a little bit of effort into Red Guardian, but I don't have my Elena really up to make this team all that effective. It's decent just because of that Punisher and Daredevil, but probably need to get Yelena up to the same level that Red Guardian and Killmonger are. but this wins some. And then right now, winning with all 5, or I guess there's only 4 skill military here, or 4 military. I am able to get some points in the covert ops milestones that way. So I do try to pick a good win here, and I don't know that there is one. So here, I'm typically looking for any team that's got Night Nurse or Shield Medic. I just feel like that kind of just puts them at a disadvantage because I don't really feel like they have no offense, so it's just like, yeah, you're getting the health benefit from them, but it's basically going 4v5, and I'll take that matchup any day. So I got pretty similar Daredevils here. My Punisher's really strong. That Punisher is very weak. I feel like, especially when you're looking at defenders, you typically want to look at, where the strong Punisher is. And if they've got a really strong Punisher, then you kind of have to change your tactic. But this doesn't really scare me. A lot of that power is invested in Night Nurse, who's really not going to do anything offensively. And I think my Daredevils cancel each other out. And I just don't think this will be that much of a contest. Yeah, that was probably more of a punch-up than they could handle. Again, this is where my roster's getting a little dicey. Now that I have Kitty Pryde and will have Iceman soon, I'll be doing something different with this team in particular. Definitely will be trying to, find, I guess, maybe Spider-Man being the 5th, maybe for that X-Men reject team. Eventually the Astonishing X-Men, but not until Jubilee and Bishop come along. And then for right now, I'm pretty happy with leaving Beast on my Uncanny team, kind of supporting Phoenix, making her live a little bit longer and not turning to Dark Phoenix right away. I think that's the key to making Uncanny an effective raid team. I think they're actually a pretty good raid team if you've got a decent Beast. And then I don't know that the resources are going to work out this way, but especially if I took, I don't know if this would make it easier or harder to do. If I take Phoenix up to Gear Tier 15, following DD3 first wave, so that she's stronger for the second wave, I already have Colossus at Gear Tier 14. I already have Wolverine at Gear Tier 14. I can probably get Beast up with a little bit of effort. I've been working on him a little bit, and my Cyclops just needs a couple more pieces to get to Gear Tier 13. So, again, depending on what my rewards are for DD3, it might be kind of interesting to bump all of the Uncanny X-Men up and see how good they are going through Dark Dimension 3, which I actually think they'd be pretty good. You definitely, unless you're using like maybe a Ghost or Emma now to go through Dark Dimension 3, like when I was going through, I don't see how you could really do it without Phoenix, and then definitely adding Colossus later on, like that duo together just works really well. I think that was what was able to help me get through the last 2 global nodes a little bit faster than I think most people did. I still kind of had to grind. I think those last 2 are just really tough on purpose because they kind of had to account for Phoenix. But it would be interesting to see all 5 of those uncanny X-Men go through, and especially with Beast. My only worry with Beast is that I don't have enough stars to really make that a good decision, but it's something that I'm interested in, and if I can't do it right away, it's definitely going to be something that's on my radar going forward. I didn't like any of those. I don't really like any of these. These aren't my really high win percentage teams. So I might not even do these last couple because I don't really want to drop down to 3-9. Not that I'm trying really hard on this. Well, actually, now we're in the Kitty Blitz, so I do have to try a little bit harder. Yeah, I don't like this one. I'm skipping this one. Yeah, so not a terrible blitz. I think I've got all the rewards already, which is nice when you can sim blitz and get these all right away. That's huge. Just probably saves you an hour or so of time versus doing it manually. I like sim blitz a lot. I do think that the way it's structured, it does favor players with high collection power. But I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, those are the people that you want to keep happy, and those are the people that really probably, I'll just say, deserve the better prizes out of Blitz. But at the same time, I know that would probably be really frustrating for a new character, knowing that they were all kind of completing in the same pool. I do kind of like that it is one global pool, but it probably should be split up based on how long you've been playing the game or something. Kind of feel like that if you've been playing the game for under a year, you should kind of all be grouped together and kind of have a decent chance. Because even if you're a lower player with a lower collection power and you have to do some of these manually, not only has that taken a lot of time, I just don't think that it's probably worth the time because you're just not going to be competing with the big guys. I mean, I've got a pretty decent roster. I think I use it fairly well, although maybe it's not maximized at the current moment. And I've gotten up into the 2 to 3% range before, but not until recently. And I only did it once or twice. This last time, I think I got about the same point total, but was down. I must have just missed the cut for the top 3%. So I'll be trying to get back into that 2 to 3% range this blitz for the second wave of Kitty Pride, even though I don't really need the shards because I don't think I can really get her up to 5 stars where I've got her. If I can find her. Yeah, so I've already got the 21 from this blitz. Again, I did my math really poorly. I forgot about the second blitz. I really didn't need the 12 shards that I think I got out of the 2 orbs that I bought, which is not money well spent at this point. But yeah, I think I can get another 45 or 55 in the rewards for this blitz, so that's going to put me kind of right in the middle of 4 stars, which, again, isn't a terrible position to be in. I kind of like that spot. It's not ideal, but the thing about being halfway between 4 and 5 stars is if Astonishing X-Men is needed for the next legendary character, I can pony up the $60 and get her to 5 stars if I really decide that I want whatever legendary character that she's tied to. But I do plan to go pretty hard on Pimtex so that I can get Jubilee. And then just since Pimtech's good in Dark Dimension, which I think is always going to be important to me, I think Pimtech's always going to kind of be on my radar going forward, but I don't know that I don't think I really need to take Ghosts into Dark Dimension 4. I don't think I'm probably going to. I think I like other tech characters better, and I just don't think my Ghost will be powerful enough, really. I'd rather use those resources, the tech resources, toward Ultron or Minerva. I'd rather use the Quantum unique pieces for Black Bolt. I just don't really see myself taking. I don't see myself taking Ghost up early. I just don't think I have enough stars on her. I don't think it would make a whole lot of sense. Again, it's all going to depend on how the rewards fall out of Dark Dimension 3, so I've got a little time to kind of figure all that out. need to spend? I never did spend any of this energy. Oh, it did reset. Okay. Crap. Nice. So, getting close, but again, you know, I've got three nodes left to go to get Spider-Man up to Gear Tier 14, and I've got one more to go on Anti-Venom to get him up to 13, and I think that's probably too much ground to make up to get him to be my 5th for Dark Dimension 3 City, so I think I'm just going to finish off Spider-Man since I've got all of his abilities at max already. I've invested some in his ISO, so I just think that probably is a better decision, but I don't necessarily like spending the resources on him. I think it's kind of just a necessary thing for me at this point. So let's go see if Dark Dimension reset. Which it did. So we'll go ahead and do this again. I'm probably going to back out once or twice, depending on how it goes. And we'll just see what happens. This is really the only thing that I've got to do tonight, so depending on how long this takes, this will probably be the last thing that I do for the evening. So how do I start here? So, I mean, the two that I'm probably trying to stifle the most, actually there's 3 that I'm kind of, I don't know, there's lots of ways this could go. You know, Shuri, I'm trying to block her heal. Killmonger just always seems to mess me up, and he must have already put a hit on Ms. Marvel. I don't know what the hell happened there. And then Thor, he doesn't really have the synergy here, but just he's powerful, and his damage and stuff is pretty good. So I think I'm just going to start on the end with Killmonger and just do Daredevil's ultimate right off the bat. Maybe lay down some vulnerable on some people, but really maximize that damage. Actually, pretty decent damage. I think these are only 3 red star enemies. So that sucks on Ms. Marvel already. So here I'm going to block, put Shuri to sleep. Skipped her turn. Got the health up on Symbiote Spidey. Gonna heal Ms. Marvel, keep her alive. Don't really have anybody with defense up, so I can go ahead and use Punisher's ultimate. Again, that right there is why I like the duo of Punisher and Daredevil. When Daredevil gets hit, Punisher attacks back, which is what we just saw. I think he eliminated Killmonger that way. So that wasn't too bad. This isn't going terrible, but at this point I probably would just finish this off. I've probably done well enough for one day, especially since I'm not completely dead yet. Probably did well enough that I would just lock it in and win, but I don't really feel like I've screwed up anything too bad that it's worth restarting. So I don't know if I go with here with the special on Punisher. Might be able to take out that Thor, get damage to the surrounding people, but I'm thinking maybe I want to take out Human Torch since he's got the power up, the offense up, and I'm not really sure what to do here. I guess just Human Torch because he's going next and he's got that power up. I don't know that this can kill him though, where if I went with Thor I'd probably be able to kill Thor, but we'll just do this and maybe this will be the thing that convinces me to do a reset. So Ms. Marvel at least held up there. Knowing that I didn't kill him, maybe I should have gone Thor. I'm not real sure. That's not good. No! Bullshit, Mr. Fantastic crap. Only thing that was good about that little wave right there is that, you know, I'm not trying to one-shot these. I don't have the team to one-shot these. And the good thing is, you know, I've taken out 4 enemies already today. And the good thing about that wave is that I took a lot of that wave's like turns. So, you know, I survived that little wave of all their attacks. And I've got, looks like M'Baku with Taunt. I was really looking to finish off Thor. I don't really have a move here, I just got to do my basic. Same thing. Heal a little bit. And then I think I'm going to save that ultimate. I don't know. I'll save that ultimate because it would get countered anyway. So this doesn't really matter. Daredevil's going to die. Dodge that. That was nice. Dodge that. That was nice. Dodge that. No. Got through a lot of turns on him. That was a ton of dodge. That was a lot of dodge. So I guess I would probably finish off M'Baku. Only thing is I don't know if that's going to drop enemies. I'm kind of wondering if I go with Mr. Fantastic instead. Guess it doesn't matter. I'm only going to chain to 3 enemies, and I'm going to chain to 3 enemies if I start on an M'Baku. Since he's got the lowest level of health at this point, I think I'm just going to hit him and finish this off. But I'm just going to lock this one in. I'm not going to try to get cute and do better the next time. If I get M'Baku, I got 6 on this first attempt, so not too bad. Might even get another turn depending on how much of this gets dodged. Nope. Anyway, that wasn't too bad. That was my first attempt on the second city node in Dark Dimension 3. And not too bad, again, considering I'm only taking in 4 characters at this point, working on my 5th city character in Spider-Man, probably, or possibly Anti-Venom. And, yeah. I don't think this Covert Ops event's really been all that great. It hasn't necessarily been tough for me to get these last couple, but today, I guess today it was. Maybe I slept on it a little bit longer than what I had been. I think there was one day where I didn't get the last two milestones. I just wasn't